With a land area of 721 kilometres, Singapore is Asia's second smallest country, so it often comes as a surprise hearing it's occupied by 5.6 million residents and visited by as many as 3 times that number in recent years. Situated at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula, Singapore's multitude of cultures, diverse local cuisine, shopping and sightseeing has long made it a popular destination for travellers from all over the world, and having been a number of years since my last visit, I felt a return to be well overdue. Meanwhile in Japan, having never visited before, we were once again joined by our good friend / reoccurring travel companion Yuki, and with 5 days at our disposal, we figured it a great opportunity to rediscover what the Lion City had to offer. Being such a rapidly changing city, I was expecting there to be quite a few new things for me to see and do during this visit to Singapore. And having been around 5 years since my last visit, one of these things happened to be Jewel. For those unfamiliar, it's a nature-themed entertainment and retail complex located at Changi Airport, known for the world's tallest indoor waterfall, the Rain Vortex. With various attractions, as well as retail and dining facilities, it was no wonder why we were one of the reported 300,000 visitors received each day. But before checking out what Jewel had to offer, we decided we'd get something to eat. With a lot of family in Singapore, I almost never have to worry about where I'll be staying. But this time around we thought we'd do things a little differently, which ended up with us finding ourselves in Little India. So before kicking off our second day, we figured we'd fuel ourselves up with a staple of the area. Following breakfast, our next stop was Singapore Zoo. Occupying approximately 28 hectares of the Seletar Reservoir area, Singapore Zoo attracts just under 2 million visitors each year and is considered to be one of the world's best. Reported to house over 300 different species of animals, it was clear that there was going to be a lot for us to see over the next couple of hours. And although most would expect 300 species of animals to be enough for the average zoogoer, there's plenty enough interactivity to satisfy those looking for a little more. Of all attractions, one of the highlights for me would have to be the Fragile Forest. With over 30 different types of animals freely roaming the enclosure, it's definitely worth a walkthrough. With the absence of glass and barriers, you're given a greater sense of immersion, which really allows you to get up close with a lot of the animals. From butterflies, bats, monkeys and deer, there really is a lot to see. So with that in mind, it's something I'd really suggest taking your time with. Constructed in 1840, Chijmes was originally built as a Catholic convent, but now serves as a wedding venue, as well as commercial complex for dining, shopping and entertainment. Considered a national monument, Chijmes is even featured in major motion pictures, most notably the wedding scene in 2018's Crazy Rich Asians. So being in the area with a bit of time to spare that evening, we figured it worth at least a quick visit. Later that evening, being conveniently en route, we couldn't resist dropping by and trying the widely popular Hainanese curry rice, courtesy of the long-standing and equally as renowned Beach Road Scissor Cut curry rice. As the name suggests, after selecting from a range of meats, they're scissor cut into smaller pieces and served up with rice and Hainanese curry sauce. Although having paid our visit during the later hours, being open until 3:30 AM, I'm sure we weren't the last that evening. Spanning 101 hectares, Gardens by the Bay is one of Singapore's most popular tourist attractions. Consisting of 3 waterfront gardens, its Bay South Garden is home to one of the largest glass greenhouses in the world, the Cloud Forest. This, alongside the towering supertrees of the aptly named Supertree Grove, is hard not to be at least somewhat impressed by what the gardens have to offer. With this in mind, we made sure to set aside a few hours to experience things for ourselves. Designed to replicate the conditions found in tropical mountainous regions of Southeast Asia and Central and South America, the Cloud Forest is a giant glass greenhouse made up of over 2,500 glass panels covering 12,000 square metres. Housing a 35-metre tall, vegetation-covered mountain, it is here you will also find a 30-metre indoor waterfall which is reported to be the world's largest. Occupying 153,000 cubic metres, there are said to be over 60,000 plants to see, including the world's largest species of insect-catching pitcher measuring up to 40 centimetres long. In my personal opinion, alone the Cloud Forest makes a visit to the gardens worthwhile, so be sure to set some time aside. For those willing to walk a further 5 minutes, the 12 towering super trees that make up the hard-to-miss Supertree Grove can be found a mere 400 metres away. Consisting of 4 major components, each supertree plays host to a range of plant life, from origins as far as Brazil, Panama, Ecuador and Costa Rica. In total, over 700 species of plant life are said to thrive there. With the tallest of the super trees stretching 16 stories, they make for a surreal experience, especially when they illuminate after dark. We decided to kick off our next day with a bowl of pork noodles, courtesy of one of the first ever Michelin-starred hawker stalls, Hill Street Thai Hua Pork Noodles. Now located at Crawford Court, Thai Hua Eating House is famous for their bak chor mee. The reputation of the mincemeat noodle dish has resulted in queues of upwards of an hour to be considered quite normal. So as intimidating a thought of standing in line for who knows how long, we couldn't leave Singapore not knowing what all the fuss was about. Later that afternoon, we figured we'd use a few hours spare we had to check out Haji Lane. Around the corner from the also popular Bali Lane, Arab Street and Beach Road, Haji Lane has for some time been the destination for many independent boutiques, bars and cafes. And on the off chance neither of those 3 things happen to blow your hair back, there are a number of galleries and murals throughout, which makes a walk through the lane worthwhile.
thoughts of Singapore so far? Any comment?
With the end of our stay fast approaching, we figured our visit to Singapore wouldn't be complete without eating some of its world-famous chili crab. Conceived in the 1950s through sheer experimentation, the dish was originally sold out of a streetcar. However, due to its popularity, it wasn't long before restaurants started opening serving the famous dish. Often referred to as the king of crab dishes, we figured it only the right way to round out our stay in Singapore. So it's safe to say it was quite a time we had in Singapore, from feeding exotic animals to scaling an indoor mountain. And listening to all the good things Yuki had to say about the place will be burned into my memory forever. But if you're interested in checking out any of the places we did during our brief visit, or sampling any of the food we had the pleasure of eating, you can find all the details in the description box below. But in the meantime, take care and thank you for watching.